and talk about who made the team and who didn't make the team. How does that all work in the TV world?
Well, luckily in the TV world, 5 o'clock is our earliest show where I have to kind of break it down. Sometimes I was on our 4:30 as well, but we don't have to have it every second of every day the way some others do. And gosh, that's a grind for those that are trying to get all of that done. But for me, I'm just looking at A, the surprises, B, the injury news, and see what's missing. What are we not thinking about? What's the ripple effect of what we're seeing?
Okay, so it starts coming down, and you're hitting reload, and you're getting your report ready. What are some of the, I made a big deal over the past few weeks is like, listen, these are real people, and these are real human beings. But as a Packers fan, I don't know that I needed to know the name of 90 guys. I need to know the name of 53 guys. Then there's 17 on the practice squad, that sort of thing. Who jumped out at you as some of those names that you didn't necessarily expect to see yesterday that you ended up seeing? Was it Isaiah Simmons? Was it McCole Hardman? Or were there others who you kind of thought maybe this young guy has a chance to make it, but didn't end up making it?
I'd say the biggest surprise wasn't the big name veterans who had washed up elsewhere and didn't latch on here. I think it's not a huge surprise because he was always fighting for the edge of the roster, but Christian Welch, the Iola Scandinavia, Wisconsin native, had a good camp. And when Simmons got cut, I thought it might make room for Welch on the 53.
Sure.
He's a guy who's been around the league for looking to have a sixth NFL season this year. So I think someone's going to either scoop him up via waivers or he'll be on a practice squad and get elevated due to his special teams acumen on game days. He's going to play in the NFL this year. I thought once again he had a good camp, but once again it wasn't enough here.
I know Andy Herman from Pack-A-Day Radio, who hosts the show right before this from 8 to 9, thinks there's a chance with guys who could get put on the injured reserve designated to return list today, that there could be a couple of guys there, that Christian Welch might even have a spot with the Packers this year. It just for numbers purposes and the way the rules work in the league, like you have to get down to your official 53. You can only put 2 guys on IRDR, but then today they can put more guys on IRDR and they can bring a couple of those guys back, and that Welch could end up being one of those guys.
Yeah, it could. And I think a lot of people around these parts would like that with the local product showing out.
Absolutely. So you talked about some of those older guys and washed up a little bit or haven't hit other places. When Isaiah Simmons came in, and we were all sold and told about his freak athleticism. And I think even today, none of us debate his freakish athleticism.
Right.
But what seems to be the disconnect with him, that he is this athlete? He was a first-round draft pick a number of years ago, and whether it's the Cardinals, the Giants, or now the Packers, like once the pads go on, the helmets go on, the lights come on, and an NFL game happens, whether it's preseason or not, he just looks lost. Like how does that happen?
There's more to the game than just physical skills, and he's proof in the pudding of that. I can only speak to what I saw in training camp and preseason.
Sure.
But I was on the field in Indianapolis, and I saw him chase down Anthony Richardson from behind and tackle that beast of a human being that is Richardson. But also in the same play, he had to turn around and then chase him down. He didn't meet him at the line of scrimmage. Yep. It's diagnosing the play, I think, that's holding him back,
Interesting.
Because obviously it's not the physical stuff.
Yep.
He's got all the physical tools.
Absolutely. Dave Schroeder, WBAY, joining us here. I know you got a lot going on today, and we appreciate the time. Yep. Quarterback room real quick. Clifford and Alguerzma, do we know who's coming back? Do we know who's practice squatting from there yet?
I don't think we know yet. We'll find out. I mean, Clifford obviously has an intimate knowledge of everything and has worked side by side helping Jordan Love get ready week in, week out. Alguerzma is a younger talent that you could develop, and you don't know if you've reached his ceiling yet. I think the Packers probably know what the ceiling on Clifford is.
Right.
So that's a choice between what you know and what you think you might be able to develop that you don't know yet.
And then looking at, not looking at the cuts necessarily, but in the universe of the cuts from yesterday, is there a position group now that has your interest in a way that you weren't expecting, or that all of a sudden you look at this roster and you think to yourself, man, we really got to keep an eye on this X room, whatever room that might be, because of how everything went down on cut day?
I think obviously offensive line's interesting. They make a trade. They have 7 that are probably good, 6 that are fighting for the 5 starting spots. Injuries always happen in the trenches, so that's always interesting. Obviously, on the defensive line, you keep another UDFA and Nazir Stackhouse, and you're pretty deep there.
Yep.
You hate to go into a season saying, well, what if this happens? This could be an issue. Also, not just looking at the rooms, but I think the room that you really need your frontline star to be healthy and play like a frontline star is running back. Josh Jacobs is everything to this team, and it's not a running back league by any stretch. It's a passing game. But what he showed last year, and as being a bell cow back, if he can do that again, they're in a great spot. But without him, Matt LaFleur's found ways to win a lot of games, a lot of different ways. But what they really need is for Jacobs to stay healthy, because I don't think they want Wilson or Brooks or returning from IR Lloyd to be the back you count on. I look at that spot as one where you need the Jacobs to lock it down and do what he's done in the past.
And it worked. It worked well for them last year. But you're right.
Sure
it's not exactly a room. They're like, listen, those guys are nice players. But if they had to step in and be 1A, I think there'd be some concerns, right?
Yes, at least for me.
Yep. All right. What about real quick? What about the wide receiver room? I know there's some people that were, what is Savion Williams, availability going to be? Are Reed and Wicks going to be available? Like, is this all of a sudden going to be a short-handed room in a room that 2 weeks ago we thought was overstocked?
We'll find out in 11 days, right? Christian Watson's on PUP. You got 3 walking wounded that aren't on IR, but we'll see. Because you do need your frontline talent for those first 2 weeks. You're facing the 1 seed in the NFC last year and the team that beat the 1 seed in the NFC 4 days later on a Thursday.
Yeah, it doesn't get easy for them. It's a fun start that it's at home, but the opponents are not easy. Anything else, Dave Schroeder, WBAY in Green Bay, anything else stand out to you or catch your attention today, or that for the rest of this week you're keeping your eye on, especially as all of a sudden practices go from having 4,400 people at them in Packers uniforms to just having, your 53 guys and then your 17 practice guys at some point, but it feels a lot smaller. Anything you're keeping your eye on?
I'm keeping an eye on those receivers. I want to see how good they look. I want to look at Jordan Love's thumb. Is he taking snaps immediately today? Does he wait until next week to ramp that up? I'm looking at the injured guys and how fully they appear to be participating. And we don't get to watch all of practice now. Now we're like stretch and a little bit of Indy and then out. So it'll be really interesting to watch and discern what we can. And it all leads up for us. It's a busy week because we're getting you set for the season up here in Green Bay. If you have Green Bay TV, we've got Cover 2, a 1-hour playoff preview special next Wednesday from 7 to 8. So we'll be grinding away at that and trying to get you all the nuggets we can to fill that show.
Nice. Well, I look forward to that, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon and get all your insight on everything that's going on at practice and in the locker room. Because being here in Milwaukee, it's we can get up there sometimes, but it's nice when we have friends who are in the room and in the building. So thank you for all your hard work. Go start your day. I know you got a ton of stuff to get to today. So thanks for taking a few minutes here and jumping on, Dave.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Dave Schroeder, WBAY in Green Bay Sports.